The name of the tugboat that was blown to pieces in 1902 was the John Anson, a very busy little craft. Thursday, April 24, 1902, the Brooklyn Citizen. Explosion of a tugboat causes death and panic. 1 man blown across Newtown Creek and killed. 3 others likely to die. Houses and factories in neighborhood are shattered and damage is considerable. By the blowing up of the tugboat John Anson in Newtown Creek at the head of Manhattan Avenue, Greenpoint, early today, 1 man was killed and 3 others probably mortally injured, while the vessel itself was completely destroyed, another badly damaged, and 2 more somewhat injured. It was the most terrific explosion that the Greenpoint section of the Eastern District has known in years. Nearly every light of glass and window sash in the large Chelsea jute mills was shattered, while scarcely a dwelling escaped damage. The Anson was owned by its commander, Captain William Reichert of number 161 India Street. She was a staunch little boat, capable of conveying large tows, and her machinery was of the costliest kind. Besides the captain, she had a crew of 4 men. John Donnelly and James Cunningham were the firemen, and John Kennedy the cook. Donnelly was the man killed. Tugboats tie up every night just inside the mouth of Newtown Creek, between the bridge which stretches across from Greenpoint to Long Island City and the East River. Alongside is the plant of the jute mill. The first tug usually tied up alongside the bridge, the second next to it, and so on, until often lines from 12 to 15 were lashed together along the pier, owned by the jute mill people. After the Anson had been tied up last night, the fires were banked as usual and Captain Reichert went home. Donnelly, Cunningham, and Kennedy remained on the boat. They slept aft. The towboat Defender tied up next to the Anson. She is owned by the Russell brothers. Alongside the Defender was the John Purcell, owned by Captain John Gillum of number 16 India Street, and next to her the tugboat Dictator. There were 10 other boats in line. Cause of the explosion is a mystery. What caused the explosion is a mystery, but people who were acquainted today in the neighborhood of where the tug blew up expressed the opinion that through carelessness a high pressure of steam must have been left in the boiler after the Anson's fire had been banked last night. It was exactly 20 minutes to 3 o'clock this morning when the explosion came. It was so terrific in force that it blew the Anson into smithereens, and what was left of her went to the bottom of the creek. Fireman Donnelly was blown across the creek and was found dead an hour later in the Knickerbocker Ice Company's yard in Long Island City. Cunningham and Kennedy were blown into the center of the creek. They were stunned, and not until they felt themselves drowning did they regain their presence of mind and strike out for the shore. Both had been badly scalded, and although they were seriously hurt, they kept themselves afloat, shouting for help all the time, but no help came. It was only with the greatest difficulty that they managed to reach one of the towboats in the flotilla. Andrew Morin was in charge of all the tugs. He is 29 years old and lives at number 91 Eagle Street. He was on the Defender when the explosion came. Besides the Anson being blown to atoms, the Defender was so badly damaged above the waterline that she will probably have to be entirely rebuilt. Morin was hurled about 50 feet into the air and landed in the roadway in Manhattan Avenue alongside the terminus of the Greenpoint line of cars. His left arm was broken. His scalp was hanging from his head, and he was suffering from shock and internal injuries.